Oh, there we are. Perfect. And then I just need to go live. Okay. Just checking one thing with my team, guys. I am so happy to be here. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay. So I know we're streaming in a few different, several places here. Any comments that you have, definitely put them in the chat. My team and I will be checking. I am going to get started. So excited for everyone to be here today. Really, really honored and excited. This topic today, okay, hold on one second. Okay, great. So I'm just going to give it a minute while everyone's coming on. So please put in the chat where you are coming from and where you live. And we're going to get started. So welcome to Born for This, Become the Woman That You're Meant to Be. This topic is so near and dear to my heart, and I will explain more about that, but I'm so excited to have you here. We had an overwhelming, beautiful response to this event, and it blew me away, actually. So I'm very honored and excited. What we are doing, and I just want to share with you guys. So this event is 2 days. It's going to be today and tomorrow. It's 2 hours each day. Today will be from 1 to 3, tomorrow 1 to 3 Eastern Standard Time, same time. For those of you that registered through through our link, those of you that are just joining live, I wanted to let you know, those of you that registered through the link, you will get the replay, and you also have the worksheets. There are worksheets that we have for both days that are going to support you in making this as transformative and powerful for you as possible, because it's actually in the reflection within yourself and doing that inner work that's going to support you in gaining the clarity and the awareness and the understanding in what's been coming up for you and where you're wanting to go. So those worksheets are really, really going to be supportive and helpful for you. If you are just coming on live and you did not get them, please, you can either put a comment or email support at Melissa Catherine, and we can get those sent over to you. What we'll do is just send you a link for the event itself. And through that, you'll get an immediate email with a link to download the worksheets. And that will be a way that you can honestly just benefit the most from being here. So that being said, in today's event in the next 2 days, I really wanted to do this around coming into the holidays. And because we also know on the heels of the holidays is then that of the new year. And most times, we come in with a lot of reflection and comparison and can kind of be negative towards ourselves on the things that we didn't create. What I want you to see and really get from Born for This is we're going to drop into supporting you not only in having the clarity on where you're going, but also in understanding who you've been and in the recreation of the identity of the version of you that you want to be. So when we're looking at identity and why I love identity work more than anything is because this is an opportunity for you to consciously create the version of yourself that you want to be. So in these next 2 days, I'm going to speak into some things that maybe you've heard before, and for many of you that you haven't, and really, really simplify the game of transformation and manifestation. The primary thing that makes me different when it comes to this space of manifestation, transformation, life coaching, if you will, I've been doing this work for over 18 years now. I myself have had many transformations and my own spiritual awakening. And there has definitely been the road that I went down that took me the long way around. And there's a lot that I've learned in the process. And I know that I was given those experiences and those challenges. We could call them challenges, but I just call them a part of life's journey. I was given them. Oh, Nicole, I'm so happy you're here. I was given them for the very reason I know to be able to support you in going through them in a way that you would not have to have the same trials and tribulations. So in the world of in spiritual awakening and manifestation, the things that I've learned about mindset, reprogramming the mind, the body and health and wealth, all of this is that it really does come back to a few simplified practices and reprogramming the mind, creating the identity, understanding spiritual nutrition, and having the clarity is what actually brings it all together. So I'm about, let's demystify, let's uncomplicate, and let's really support you in becoming the version of yourself that you really want to be. I'm really, this event is geared towards those women that are sitting there and going, I am ready. I know that I'm meant for more. I'm ready for extraordinary. I'm done with ordinary. I am living a life that's beautiful and it's lovely, and I know that there's something else that's meant for me. And it's about you having the belief in yourself and the clarity. And one of the things, and many of the messages that I received, which actually was what caused the creation of this program, was I feel stuck. I keep limiting myself. I'm watching other people pass me by. These are a lot of messages that I would receive from women. And I would also see this from the women in our community that transformed. And I saw where they came in and what started happening for them as they were popping off one after another with transformation. When they first came in feeling very stuck and limited by circumstance, by life, by who they've been. Right. And whether it was whatever limitations, honestly, and whether they were telling themselves they were too old, that they needed to lose weight, that they needed to have a partner, that they missed out on their opportunity for children, there were so many things. So when we're looking at whether you're in midlife, in life transition, knowing that you're meant for more, if you're just sitting there just saying, my life is good and I'm ready for that next level, I know that there's more that I was meant to create and experience, you are in the right place. So one of the things that differentiates me from anybody else, and the thing that's really been profound for me, is finding the strength within myself, with my identity, with me. And it stemmed from my relationship to myself and to my body. So I always say this: you give me a woman who feels good in her body and she is unstoppable. You give me a woman that feels strong and fit, she is fearless. She will go after her dreams unabandoned. She will put herself out there and she will be unstoppable. And everything in her path, she knows that the world is there for her. It is her oyster and she is limitless. You give me a woman that doesn't feel good in her body, and yes, she can have a lot of success and she can create a lot of wealth. And from the outside, you could go, man, she looks like she has it all. And in private, she will be talking to herself and that inner critic will be winning. She will be operating as the perfectionist. She will be striving and struggling instead of thriving. She will be operating from the masculine and pushing and needing to do this, and I will outwork anybody. That's not what we're talking about here. So in Born for This, Become the Woman That You're Meant to Be, we're upgrading mind, body, soul, spirit, and we're starting with helping you to identify through your body what is the version of you that you want to be. And we're going to start with your health, because your health, the way that you relate to yourself, treating this as the vessel, is going to be your key to your highest and easiest path of manifestation. Hands down. This is your intuitive channel to divine consciousness that's going to help you to, i.e., quantum leap to where you want to be. Okay. So when we get this fine-tuned and we remove the limitations and the identities of being a chronic dieter, of struggling with movement, of always going towards mindless eating, of overeating, of telling yourself you're an emotional eater, saying that your whole life you've struggled with your body, these are just stories. So in this 2-day event, we're going to start off this first day really speaking about dropping into the feminine. What is the difference between feminine energy and masculine energy, how we balance both, and how being in that energy supports in you getting intuitively connected and guided to the highest and best version of you. The second piece of this, we're going to drop into actually connecting in to the healthiest version of you. And what that means is actually creating the identity of you that has the body, that has endless energy, that's aging backwards, that creates the identity of the version of you that shows up very powerfully, that has utmost confidence. And that confidence is going to help you tap in creatively to the imagined mind, the fourth dimension, to create for you instead of against you. Okay. Then we're going to look at, and this is so cool, but we're actually going to create the identity of the version of you that you want to be. And I'm going to go deep into explaining how we actually shift our identity and how we operated from default and how we get to consciously create that version. And last but not least, we're going to get into the alignment. So both these, we're going to do a powerful visualization / meditation. Tomorrow is going to be more of a meditation. Today is more of a visualization that's going to support you in anchoring in and tapping into the subconscious, right? The subconscious is what's really, really driving. 95% of our actions each day are driven from the subconscious mind. Okay. So it's our conscious mind where we sit there and I'll go, how are you feeling? And somebody goes, my clients will go, oh, no, I mean, I'm good. And then I'll go, okay, well, let's talk about what's really going on. And then we drop into what are the unconscious beliefs? What are the unconscious contracts? What are the unconscious stories that are going on that are tied to our identity and our belief systems that are actually creating against us instead of for us? And that's often where we get really tripped up because we go, on a conscious level, I feel really good. On a conscious level, I know that money can come to me easily. On a conscious level, I see my success. On a conscious level, I feel healthy. So why do I keep sabotaging myself? It's because of the unconscious. It's because of the unconscious contracts, the identities, the things that we really committed to, and many of them happened for us in childhood. So I'm going to explain more about that. So before, as we're sitting here, I hurt my foot. So I'm like, I'm going to sit on it or sit. You might see me moving around here a bit today. So for those of you that are new to me, I'm Melissa Catherine. I am known as a spiritual nutritionist. I've been in this industry I've been a transformational coach for 18 years. I am a holistic nutritionist with a background in fitness, food and psychology of self-sabotage within and our behaviors. I'm also a master hypnotherapist and an intuitive. So I tie all of this together in really supporting you and up-leveling to become the version of you that you desire to be, removing all limitations and reminding you that you are whole and complete. So we are not investing in your brokenness. We are investing in your wholeness. This isn't about you needing to be fixed. This isn't about you being anything wrong with you. This is actually just about bringing you home to yourself and enhancing the version of you that you already know yourself to be. We just need to kind of bring her out. We're going to dust her off and we're going to bring her higher so that you are in full alignment with what you know to be true for you. And this is how we want to kick off going into this next chapter for ourselves. I don't believe that we have to go with like New Year's and all the things. We get to start here today. So a few truths that I really want to tell you. Let's just simplify the game of transformation and manifestation. One, first and foremost, you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts, they are not you. They are simply just human experience that you have on repeat, and your thoughts then create a belief. A belief gets created in 17 seconds. Okay. So a belief gets created in 17 seconds, which means we can create a new belief and we can stop an old belief within that time. Okay. So what do they talk about with our mind? We have 80,000 thoughts on repeat a day. 60,000 of them, they say, are negative from the time of birth until now. So what is the mind then? When we're talking about reprogramming the mind, what are we really doing? Well, the mind is nothing more than an artifact of past consciousness. I want you to do something for me right now, okay? And you're going to see what I'm talking about. I want you to close your eyes right now and just take a deep breath in and close your eyes. And I just want you to focus on this present moment. Just breathing in, take a deep breath in and exhale out. And in this present moment, what is your mind saying in this present moment? Just on the present. We're not thinking about yesterday. We're not thinking about tomorrow. Just present moment right here. What do we have? What's our thought? What's going on? That's right. There's nothing. It's blank. Why? Because the mind actually can't conceive of present tense, present time. The mind doesn't know time. The mind is nothing more than an artifact of the past. It's a dinosaur. It either knows the past or the future. And what I mean by the future is the mind is either going to prescribe, describe, or compare. So when you're scrolling on social media and you're going, oh my God, that person this and this, this person's passing me by, and oh my God, and we go into comparison, or their life and they have this and I don't have that. That's comparison. The mind's comparing. When you make a decision and then your mind goes, well, you should have done that, or it would probably be better over there. It's just what ifing in the future, could have, should have, right? Or it's drawing on the past. And it's going to bring past consciousness up again and again and again and again, because the mind is set up for survival. So it only knows what you've taught it. So how does this relate to you creating the version of yourself that you want to be? If you know that you're meant for more and you want to become the woman that you know that you're meant to be, and you're sitting there and you're going, I know that I was born for this. Why did I even pick this title, right? Born for this. It's like, what is that thing that we know? We're going to get into that when we get into purpose, but stay with me here. So if you are not your thoughts, you're just a thinker of your thoughts, and beliefs get created in 17 seconds and they can create for or against you. And your mind is nothing more than an artifact of the past. So your mind, we often think our mind is who we are. We often think our thoughts are who we are, but no, your thoughts are just thoughts that you've put in your mind. Your mind is an artifact of the past. And not only that, since your mind is set up for survival, it's always going to keep you exactly where you are, whether you like it or not. So if you're sitting there going, okay, but I want to change. Well, your mind's set at a thermostat setting. You are right here. You're at like 75. And you're going, yeah, but I want to change. Well, you might incrementally change, but you will always rubber band back. I would always have women go, but Melissa, I lost the weight and then I gained it back again. And what's going on there? I go, you never shifted your identity. You were waiting on a subconscious plane to gain the weight back. You had not actually shifted and dropped the identity of the woman that struggled with her weight, right? This is why I always talk about a fit identity. We're going to talk about that more and how to actually do that and powerfully shift so that whatever you attain and achieve, you maintain for the rest of your life. That only happens when you shift your identity. I wish somebody would have told me that. Okay, because I sit there and I remember sitting with like vision boards and I'm scripting every day and I'm affirming and I'm like, I don't get it. And then I really saw, wow, the power actually comes in my self-concept. It's my view of me. So let's go back to this about the mind, because these principles are really, really important for you to understand. And please ask me any questions. I am happy to answer any and all things. So your mind is set up for survival. It only knows what you've taught it. It is nothing more than an artifact of past consciousness. So when you put a program into the mind and you're telling yourself on repeat, I struggle with my weight, on repeat, I can't figure this money thing out. I don't have enough money. I can't seem to bust through this amount of money. How do I attract this type of client? How do I get in? That wouldn't make sense. I could never make that. The mind's going, well, she can never make that much money. She can't. And it's taking you at face value. Your mind, I just want you to think of it like Google. You're putting in a program, and what happens when we look at the mind in direction to the body? It's listening to everything you're saying. So when you tell your mind and you're about to eat something, you go, oh my God, we're gonna have to work out so much tomorrow that, oh, I'm gonna put on so much weight. Oh my God, that's gonna mess me up my sleep. You are programming your mind. The mind's giving a signal to the body. It's going, mess up her sleep tonight, have her gain weight, and make this a really bad decision. She just said this food was really bad for her. So let's find as many ways as we can make this a problem. Direct command. So what would happen if we flip the script? Let's have some fun with this. What would happen if we flip the script? What would happen if you started telling your mind only things that you wanted to have happen? And you did it on repeat. And not only would you tell the mind, but you would see it. And you would feel it. This is how we actually reprogram the mind. So before we were stepping too much into today, what I really wanted you to understand is a few fundamental things that are going to be a game changer for you. What you speak creates for you or against you. As Florence Scovel says in one of my favorite books, The Game of Life and How to Play It, right? Your words are your wand. They create for you or against you. So if we know that our words are going to create for us or against us, wouldn't it behoove us to tell ourselves the most beautiful, magical, epic things about ourselves? Did you ever notice when somebody sits there and you go, man, you're so lucky? And they go, I'm always lucky. I'm the luckiest person in the world. Like I've won every contest, everything that just happens for me. It is a belief. What does that belief do? It manifests. What is manifestation? It's not writing things 1,000 times a day, creating a vision board, and constantly sitting in endless hours of visualization. Yes, all of those things are super helpful and beautiful and help to bring it to you. But manifestation is really what you believe to be true is what you will manifest to you, magnetize to you. It's as simple as that. Right now, in a multitude of ways, you've manifested everything you've experienced here today. Being here on this live, you asked for this. This was something in your consciousness that you said, this is something that I want. So I feel like in manifestation, we've overcomplicated a lot of it with a lot of processes, and you need to do this and you need to saturate. And I love a lot of different tools and techniques. And I'm going to tell you that the bottom line is, if you believe it and get yourself to believe it, and you trick your mind into it being real through emotion, through a visual, through the constant, like the belief of it, you will end up believing it, and it has to come to you by law of attraction. So when we're looking at this, I really, really want to say to you, and this is a huge, huge thing for you to see and understand, that if the mind is nothing more than an artifact of the past, and you have the opportunity to create everything, and you are the God of your life, and you are writing what happens next. You have pen and paper. My clients say it all the time. We have a membership academy. It's called Limitless Academy. And this is our Life, Mind, Body Mastery membership program, right? It's truly about just upgrading and staying in the consciousness of constant elevation. And they will all say, when I write it down, it happens for me verbatim. When I write it down, it just happens. And then one of my clients who I just love so much, she said to me, she goes, Melissa, it's been so cool. I don't even write it down anymore. It just happens. And I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when you're being it. In the beginning, we have to have practices to get us in the repetition of thinking differently. But once you're being it, once you've shifted your mindset to expect the best, to be in a space where you've shifted your program, because when she started, she was very negative. She was attracting in a lot of negative. She had to consciously sit down and get herself to think differently, to write, I'm so happy and grateful that this happened, into script, into script, into script. And then she got herself into the routine, and then she was like, Melissa, it was crazy. I just got busy. And then I noticed everything was still working for me, and that's now just how I think. Bam, that's how that happens. Do you see what I'm saying? So depending on your level of awareness and awakening, you might need to have the practice of daily scripting, the practice of going inward and consciously testing and asking yourself. So something that I want you to do right now with a pen and paper, I want you to challenge every belief. If there is nothing else that you get from this experience in 2 days with me, I want you to say, I'm going to challenge every belief that I have. I'm going to write down this girl that I saw online. I happened to get on, and she said, challenge every belief, because what I want to tell you, and I did not know this, but most up until our life, right? I saw this great, it's like a meme, or it was a meme or a reel, and just said everything up until now has been research. And it was like up until 40, it's like everything has just been research. That's it. And I was like, absolutely, because now we get to consciously create the version of ourselves that we want to be. This is not by default. This is not a hi, I'm creating based off of who my mom told me I should be, my dad told me I should be, my school said I should be, my friends said I should be, my siblings said I should be, my religion said I should be, what my partner said I should be. Whatever. This is you getting to consciously create and go, hey, I'm now going to challenge every belief that I have for how I live my life. I'm going to keep what speaks to me. I'm going to keep what I love, and I'm going to release what I don't, because what I don't is now working against me instead of for me. And so your unique gifts and abilities, your authenticity, who you are in the world, that is your gift to the world. That's what makes you special. That's what has you magnetize everything seamlessly to you. That's where the joy, the fun, the alignment, the feminine energy, which is what we're talking about here, dropping into the feminine. The feminine is, I am fully aligned with the power that is me. I do not need to be anything other than me. I actually know that connecting into my intuitive nature, the power that is me, who God bore me to be, whatever that is for you, God, source, energy, universe. I'll use the word God here, God and universe interchangeably. That is my power. So instead of trying to conform to who I was told I should try to act like, be like, dress like, talk like, instead, I'm going to come home to myself, and I'm going to know that the more I'm myself, the easier life is for me. The more I'm myself and true to me, the happier I'll be. The more I'm myself and I express myself and allow myself and say yes to myself, then I know. So when we look at being in our feminine, what is the feminine? The feminine is not just like, oh my God, I just like dance around in my floaty, like whatever, and I don't do anything. Yes, it is a softer energy. She talks in a manner, right? Like right now I'm on this live, right? I'm giving out more of a masculine energy. So let's look at this. Masculine energy is more mechanical. It's in the doing, right? The feminine is in the being. We need both. Men have both, women have both. We both have feminine and masculine energies. That's the most beautiful thing about it. When we look at manifestation, the female is the vessel, right? For manifestation. Well, it's the same thing when we're looking at our energy. As a female, you are the vessel where creation comes in. We want to allow for that. So what would some things look like when we want to balance our feminine, masculine energy? When you're coming to me and when I have women DMing me and they're going, I don't know what I want and I feel stuck, I say, okay, well, in order to know what you want and to get unstuck, we want to get connected to your core, to who you are. And what that means is it's spending more time with you and less time numbing out and less time being giving, right? As females, we have a tendency, we're very big on putting everybody else's needs ahead of our own. We're very apt to be at the bottom of the priority list. And that's also many females are a way of numbing out. Instead of actually having to look at ourselves and see where we're unhappy or see the things that we're wanting to create or achieve, we end up then doing the opposite. And we'll give and we'll give and we'll give, and then sit back in resentment or regret or just exhaustion, right? And then we're hyper reactive. But the truth is, it's a lot easier to be of aid to somebody else than it is to yourself. Or so we feel, because we're afraid of what we'll find. We're afraid that if we sit still, we're afraid if we ask the questions, we're afraid that we'll find that either we don't know who we are, that we don't like who we are, or that the things that we truly desire are too scary and feel like they're not possible. And if we're afraid that the dreams that we have are too big and won't be possible, then the idea of taking time to connect into them, we won't allow. And we'll allow our ego to talk us out of it every time. Because the ego is nothing more than human consciousness coming in, and it's created from human consciousness. The ego is everything that you've taught it. Every time that you splintered off, you came into this planet as this whole beautiful vessel and being where you knew that anything and everything that you ever desired was available to you. And in life, you continue to splinter off. And somebody said, well, you're not good enough at that, or you need to lose weight, or even if it was something like, oh, you just shouldn't eat that, and your perception was they think I'm overweight. Or you're not good at sports, you're not good at school, and all of a sudden identity and identity and identity, and you splintered off from this whole being, and you just kept going over and over. Well, these splinters created identities that separated you from the divinity that is you. And then you had all these splintered versions. Some of them serve you when somebody's going, you're amazing at sports, you're amazing. And you're like, I'm amazing, I'm amazing, I'm amazing, right? And your belief about yourself, you build all this confidence. And that's great. And you derived a lot of worthiness around that. And that's beautiful, right? But as we splinter off, that's where our ego comes from. And it's a subset of limiting beliefs and streams of consciousness, some that serve you and many that hurt you. So our goal and what we're really doing here is bringing you back to wholeness, getting you out of limitations, and bringing you into believing and knowing in the limitless being that you are. Because every dream and desire in your heart is in fact meant for you. That it's down to the body, optimal health, having endless wealth, living whatever life that you dream of. And everyone's dream for their life is completely different. I'm here right now on a live stream. This is something that other people have no desire to do. Other people have a desire to be a teacher, a nurse, write books. I mean, there's so many different things. So could we trust and could we entertain that the desire in your heart that was given you was actually meant for you, and that it's only meant for you, which means it already happened for you, that it's destined? And what if it was destined? So right now, I want you to think about that dream that you had as a little girl. That dream that you had that just lit you up to no end. That one thing that you're like, if I could do this, this is what I wanted to do when I was little. And it's like play. It is just something that I dream about. It would have been so fun. It's something I still think about. What is that for you? Put it in the chat. What is that for you? And I will answer this other question. So what is that for you guys? What are those things that you would love to be? Oh, awesome. An author. So good. You want to own salons. Awesome. Become a coach. Love it. Oh my God, these are so good. I love all. Okay. So here's the thing. And I'm going to talk about this, but I always, I'm like the queen of reinvention. I started off in New York City, right? I did fashion design, did jewelry, fashion, self-taught over like 12 years. Then I went back to school for nutrition and life coaching, right? And then I went into that and I decided, and I started this business. I've done everything from writing books, podcasts, doing this, like I said, fashion. I mean, I was sent into Japan to like trend shop. I always talk about that because it's still, I look back and I'm like, it was so amazing. And all of that was me assuming the identity. I also was never an athlete. I was the opposite of an athlete. Both my brothers, they were the soccer players. They were the athletes. I was the little sister that would like follow them and go to all of their tournaments and things. I didn't even think I was athletic. And then I went on and was in the International Natural Body Federation and won for best body, right? And it's like, okay. And then I'm now known, I'm like the athlete in the family. I'm like, I mean, that's like so much of what I do and who I am. And that's why I often talk about the fit identity, because let's just go into identities here. My identity growing up was not that of an athlete. And then I sat and remember graduating college and I'm like, I'm so sick of always feeling like my weight. Like I always want to lose weight. I'm always talking about like 10 pounds and this and that. I'm so sick of my weight holding me back. I don't like that I can't wear what I want to wear. I don't like that I would like put my jeans on, there'd be like the gap in the back, right? Because my butt would be bigger, but my waist was smaller. And then so I had to go up a size, but then I'd have to hem the pants because I'm only 5'4". And then I'd want to wear this and this was too tight. And so I had a whole thing around my weight, right? And so much insecurity. And I just sat there and I said, I'm done. And I went and I decided that I was going to get fit. I didn't even put like, I'm going to lose this much weight. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. I just decided, I'm done. I'm so sick of this. I don't like that. I don't like that I feel so disempowered in my body. This is something that I can control. And if I can control it, then I'm going to change it because this is my life and this is my body. And I was like, I'm going to do this in a healthy way. I remember I started going to the gym I was living in Hoboken, New Jersey. I would come home from work and I started going to the gym at night, and I was never a runner. I don't know, but I started loving going on these runs at night. I would like sit on the treadmill. I would just think about things. And then I would come home, and I remember my roommates would be like eating it or like pizza, and they're watching TV, and I would feel so accomplished. And I'd go and shower, and instead of going and watching TV with them, I was like, I remember I'm doing like a nighttime routine. I don't know. I was into like anti-aging. I was like 22. And I remember another thing that I started doing was, I think I like blacked out during in school during history, and I fell in love with like American history. And I was like, and there were these books called the Daily Devotionals. I still have them. I should go get them. And it would give you like a synopsis of an American history lesson. And I started reading them at night. And while my roommates were like eating and doing TV, I had like worked out, came home, I'm reading these things. And I saw that that was like the very first time that I completely shifted my identity. I transformed my body. I completely changed the way that I dressed. I walked around New York City. I remember everybody at work was like, what happened to like the small town girl? I mean, I was like small town girl. I was the epitome of like those movies where it's like small town girl goes to New York. Like, yeah, like, I mean, it was hysterical. And I'm like putting outfits together. Everybody in my office was wearing like designer when we were like 22, and like they're like spending thousands on like, you know, like these like sales at lunch. And I'm like, I'm trying to pay my bills. Like, I was like, what's going on? But I share this with you because it was conscious creation, but it came from a place of joy and excitement, but it was a decision. I decided, I said, I am in control. And there was something that I posted the other day, and I'm sharing it in our Limitless Academy. And I said, guys, write down one thing. I said, what you're not changing, you're choosing. What you are not changing, you are choosing. Okay. So what is that? What is that thing that you're not changing, you're choosing? So I saw for myself, I was like, I keep getting frustrated with my weight. I keep hoping that it's going to like, and I was like, but this is me. I get to choose this. So I chose it and I changed it. And in that, when that happened for me, it changed everything because it propelled, I created a completely different identity about myself. I got confident. I felt so powerful. I felt more creative. I made my prom dress. I would like make clothes and I would cut and reconstruct things like Urban Outfitters, you know, like I would put things together. So I started getting like more creative in the way that I dressed. I started expressing myself completely differently. I felt more like myself than ever before. And I found this strength within myself in fitness, in this power that I found. And that identity alone was one of the very first times that I shifted, and it propelled into a multitude of things. And so I am so passionate. And this is why I started off saying, you give me a woman that feels good in her body and she is unstoppable, and it will up level her in all areas of her life, which is why when I work with my clients on becoming the version of themselves that they want to be, that meant for more, that I want extraordinary, not, I always start with the body. I'm like, how are you eating? How are you talking to yourself? How do you treat your body? What is your relationship here? Because this relationship to this is the only relationship that matters. And if you eat like crap, you will talk to yourself like crap, and you will do crappy things and feel like crap. Yes, it's a ripple effect. It is a ripple effect. So is you making one healthy decision, one healthy choice, one affirmative self-love comment, an affirmation spurs another. One healthy decision, one healthy choice, one act of going to bed earlier. I always say when you go to bed at night, that is the beginning of your next day. When people ask me which routine is more powerful, a morning routine or an evening routine, it's the evening routine, because that is the beginning of your morning. So we want to be in that space. Okay. But I want you guys to understand that it is you deciding. So what are you not changing? What you're not changing, you are choosing. We need to get out of victim energy, out of, oh, well, this is what, and I know when I say victim, it's very triggering, but the victim energy is so low vibrational, and many operate from the victim energy of, oh, I can never make more money because of this. I'm this way because my husband this. I can never do that because of this. My family, this, no, you are creating your life. What happens next? What is one thing that you're not changing? Put it in the chat and let's change it today. Okay, let me answer. These are great questions, Veronica. Ooh, girl. You know I love your questions. All right. I wish these would come up bigger, but I know we're streaming on multiple platforms. Okay. Veronica asked a great question about reprogramming the mind. How do we really cement in the reprogram of the mind? Let's say we tell ourselves what we really want, but how does it really become a cemented belief? What's the bridge from the desire to our new reality? Such a great question. Okay, so there's many questions in here, right? So I'm gonna simplify. One thing, Veronica, I want to tell you, in Veronica's question, you can already see she's really caught up in how, which tells me that she's not in the embodied state, right, of the version that she's being. So when we want to reprogram the mind, what is the one thing that we want to do? We really want to look at the end state. We want to always create from the version of us that already has the thing that we want, and look at who is she, how does she think differently, and what is she doing? Who is she being in the world? How does she dress? How's she eating? How's she feeling in life? When we always, in order to create and manifest, we need to come from the end state. If you are always coming from who you've been, you're never going to get to where you want to be. It's always going to be incremental. And you'll usually rubber band back. That means you'll always go on the diet. You'll do the diet for 3 months, 6 months, a year, but you're going to go back. You're going to increase your money, but you're going to end up back because you're actually not changing your identity. You're just operating from the masculine, the mechanical. You're operating from, okay, I'm going to work really hard to get there, and I'm going to do a lot of doing, but inevitably I'm going to get back to who I've been, because that will exhaust me, and that's actually not in a flow state. What is a flow state, right? You're just in a flow, like you're thinking of like fish and go, you're going with the river. So now saying that, just guys, please, for everybody else. So Veronica's in our container, so she gets the support, so I'll get to take her higher. But those of you that are just showing up here live today, I really want you to understand that everything you want to create, I want you to ask yourself, who is the version of me that already has that? What is different about her? How is she being in the world? How is she thinking? How is she feeling? Because the version of you that has the thing isn't stressed out. The version of you that has the thing isn't freaked and in anxiety and going, oh my God, and from lack and scarcity. The version of you that has is in complete joy. And she's actually already giving thanks to the creator for what she has, because it's so powerful, so beautiful, and so delicious. And she's just in the experience of it. It's very different. Really understand that when we're in anxiety, overwhelm, stress, or any emotions of lack, rejection, that's all in separation. So what that tells me is that you're operating from the mind, which is completely disconnected from divine consciousness and your intuition. Feminine energy is I'm from here down. I'm in my body. If you notice earlier when I was talking about the difference, and Veronica, trust me, I'm going to get into the details, so stay with me here, girl. When I just want to make this point, the feminine energy, listen to my voice right now. Right now I'm talking. Where is it? It's here. Let me drop in. When I'm in my feminine, do you guys see the difference? You feel that? It's a complete shift. It's grounded, right? It's through my heart center. It's going down, 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 down. It's soft. It's powerful. But it's different. It's down here. It's coming from here. This up here, see the difference? You can even see it in my disposition, right? So when we're in our feminine energy, and this is why we often talk in terms of transitioning for our women, coming home to their partners, going into motherhood from work, we need our transition time, just like your partner needs transition time, so that we can actually drop back in, so we can soften, And softening doesn't mean weakness. Many, many, many women that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, after the age of 35 right now, they're of the generation where feminine meant weak, crying meant weak, anger was unallowed. So we want to do away with all of that and really understand that expression is where your power comes from. But it's not reactive expression. It is a grounded, I'm in my body, I'm very clear on what I'm feeling. I'm going to sit back, I'm going to hear what you're saying, and then I'm going to respond to you. Versus, I'm not hearing what you're saying, I'm waiting to attack you because I'm coming from past consciousness and I can't wait to just tell you what I think because I'm actually not present and in my body. Very different, right? So instead, it's actually about that sacred pause and then responding. So when Veronica said, how do we really cement in the reprogramming of the mind? So it's so beautiful. We cement in the reprogramming of the mind through the application. It's through living it each day. It's not through conceptualizing about it, obsessing or overanalyzing. It's actually through the inspired action and who you're being that's going to change it. When I talked earlier about the fit identity, it wasn't me going to the gym one time that had me reprogram my mind to become a fit woman, a strong woman, a healthy woman, right? No, it was me choosing it each day. And then I would stack the benefits, stack the evidence. So this is something that I teach, and Veronica, you're familiar with this, right? Stacking the benefits and stacking the evidence is how we program the mind to tell the mind, hey, we really like this. This is who we want to be. This feels good. This feels really good for us. I want to keep doing this. I want to keep being this. I'm so proud of myself. Wow, I feel so good. I really love that instead of coming home and eating pizza and sitting on my sofa, you know, I can save that for the weekends or another time, but I feel really good that I was so productive. And wow, being productive actually spurred me to start reading more. And then the reading more actually spurred me to just feel more intellectually inclined and to get into reading even more books. And then I fell in love even more with American history. And then I love that I came home and I started to create this nighttime routine. And then I love that my gym started to turn into how I could find other classes that I loved. And then those classes led to other friends. And then those classes also led to me doing more activities. And then these more activities and going to the gym at night led to me wanting to go to the gym in the morning. And then I love to stack the evidence for going to the gym in the morning because I loved walking into work and seeing that I had already accomplished so much. And other people looked exhausted and were dreading the day. And I was so positive and I had all this time with me. And I love the way that feels. Stack the benefits, stack the evidence. What does that do? That trains the mind that this is the new you. It's through repetition of the action. It's not through overanalyzing it. It's not through obsessing about how to do it. It's not through constantly staring at the vision of who you want to be. It's actually by you being the version of you that you want to be. That's going to reprogram your mind to have you show up differently. So that's one. And that's really the answer, to be honest. And that's what bridges you from the desire to your new reality. The bridge, it's not that one day you just wake up and you're like, that's it. Right? But it's you going, I'm done. Right? So let's just look back at the story of myself. I said, I'm so sick of this. I'm done. I didn't say I'm so sick of this for today. I didn't go, I'm so sick of this. I said, I'm sick of this. I went over to the gym and I signed up. And then I made a commitment. I cleared the time in my calendar. I made it so that instead of, coming off, what was that train called in Hoboken? It wasn't, anyway, it was like the subway, but it wasn't. The L train, the something train. I don't know. Anyway, my point is, instead of doing that, I started changing my stops so that I didn't just come off in front of my house. I came off and I had to go inside the gym, right? It was through a succession of actions. And those actions created the version of me. And then it continued to go higher and higher. And then I said, now that I'm this, now let's go a step further. Okay, now that I've gotten this fit, let's do this. And then I started going, okay, now that I'm doing this, I actually want to do a fitness competition, right? But it all started with that one thing. But I didn't say, I've decided I'm going to try this today. I said, I'm done. And I made an energetic decision that was who I was going to be. And then I showed up each day to support it. It didn't mean that each day I felt like it. It didn't mean that each day I looked at myself and I was like, oh my God, right? It took time for my body to change, but I showed up and I was in full faith because I also knew I was deciding. So I knew inevitably it would have to work in my favor, that I was doing enough healthy changes that inevitably my body would have to change. It would have to, because before that I wasn't doing any of that, right? I was coming home and I was eating pizza and I wasn't working out at all. So I was like, inevitably this has to change. These changes will have to stack and make a difference. But first I'm going to fall in love with how good I'm feeling. Okay. I hope that helps. All right. Now, that was Veronica. We've got Kathleen. Hi, Kathleen. Yeah. So it's another great question. Great question, Kathleen. Oh, I think you're from you. Okay. Yes, I've seen you on YouTube. Okay. I struggle with, it's so nice to meet you here. I struggle with impulsive indulgence followed by regret. It doesn't help me achieve my goals. Yeah. So the impulsive indulgence that she's talking about, okay. I struggle with impulsive indulgence followed by regret. It doesn't help me achieve my goals. Impulsive indulgence. I assume you're talking about food. You may be talking about money. Let's just address it for all the things. So when we have impulsive indulgence, it's usually because there's a lack. So there's something that I teach called head cravings and heart cravings. And this can apply to food, but this can really apply to anything. What we end up acting out on in life, where we look to numb or have an indulgence, is usually because we're not wanting to experience what's going on in front of us or what's going on inside of us. So we could look and say some of this is by habit. For depending on where you are in your journey, there is some that's just programmed as habit, right? It's like, this is just what I do. I also get for you though, I really want, and I want to like bring you on so I can ask you. I can't do that though, because we're in too many places. I struggle with impulsive. So what I'm getting though with you intuitively is actually that this has been a response for you a lot in life. And I'm getting that it has to do more with food. And so when we want to abandon ourselves, it's usually because we learn that behavior in childhood, essentially. I mean, guys, most of the beliefs that we have and identities that have been created started in our subconscious, and that's from womb up until the age of 10, where we've created identities about ourselves that end up fueling who we are, because our subconscious mind stops forming after the age of 10, which means that all of our beliefs about ourselves, everything that we believe to be true, what we believe to be great about us, what we believe we struggle with, it all was from womb up until the age of 10. And there can be some shifts in there, depending on your level of awareness and awakening and how diligent you are in shifting that identity. But many of these, again, go into those unconscious contracts. And so when we disassociate, which is what I'm really picking up on more than anything, this impulsive indulgence, when we disassociate, it's usually because it was a learned behavior, because the pain of staying with oneself is actually too painful. So it's actually easier for us we've learned to cope with life by disassociating. And that's our way of actually coping with life. So what we want to do first and foremost is actually start to program ourselves that instead of dissociating, we have a healthy response to stress and to what's going on in our life. And we start to program ourselves that instead of using food as a coping mechanism or other things, that's actually not who we are anymore. We remove the identity of being a compulsive eater or a chronic dieter or an emotional eater or having disordered eating, and we remove the identity completely. And we start to own that we are healthy, whole, and complete, and that we connect in with ourselves, and that instead it is safe for us to be in our body. And there's something that we work on in the somatic world, and it's called havening. And havening is actually when you hold yourself and you give love to yourself. And this is something that I've shared before. That's a really beautiful practice to do with yourself in the morning, especially if you struggle with loving yourself. And it's wrapping your arms around yourself at any time when you want to abandon yourself, reject yourself, or numb out, or actually disassociate. And instead letting yourself know it is safe. I've got you. I'm here with you. And we actually do this by rubbing our arms up and down and just holding ourselves and really, really giving ourselves a hug. Something that's really beautiful to do in that moment, if you can, because when we do disassociate and when we learn to do that, what is happening is the inner child no longer feels safe. And so she disassociated by actually numbing out through doing something that essentially could distract her from what she's feeling. So the scariest thing for the inner child is actually to feel what's there, because for that part in you, when we look at parts work, for that part in you, understand with our emotions, what we're really fearing is that if I go there, I'm not going to survive it, that it's not going to be safe for me, that if I allow this emotion, it's actually going to take over me, and it's scary. So instead, if you can be with yourself and say, I love you, I've got you, it's going to be okay, we're here. And what we want to do is something that's called self-parenting. And self-parenting is where you actually come in as the adult and you allow yourself to talk to that version of you. And what could be helpful for you is actually to write her a letter, or to go inward, close your eyes, and bring her to your consciousness and say, I'm calling on the part of myself that learned to disassociate, that felt fear, and learned to soothe with food or these impulsive indulgences. And when you do, your subconscious mind is going to give you a visual of you at a certain age. And you can even say, and bring me back to that first memory when I experienced this. And you can revise it. So this is deeper work. This is like what we do in our programs. And I do this. I have a course called Reinvention, a 6-month transformative container where we like dive deep into really doing this work hands-on. What I don't want to do is go deep into something where I'm like leaving you hanging, but this is something that you can do. There's also something that I learned from one of my very first mentors. Her name was Louise Hay. If you ever heard of Hay House Radio, I mean, she was just an epic force. She taught me mirror work when I was on my self-love journey. And I teach it a bit differently. I have my own spin on it, but I would be remiss if I didn't attribute it back to her. But mirror work, when you stand in front of the mirror and it's your soul's recognition of yourself in yourself, and you go over to the mirror and you tell yourself, and you look deep within your own eyes and you hold it, and it's quite, if you're in a space of self-rejection, and no matter, I have yet to have a client that, even those that were like, I really love myself, that has told me that it hasn't brought them to tears, or even a level of resistance, where you go and you look deep within your own eyes and you just say, I love you, and I accept you, and I'm here for you, and I see you, and I think you're perfect. You're everything to me. There's nobody that I'd rather be. I love you. I love you. I love you. And you wrap your arms around yourself. And it is such a healing and beautiful practice. And I have a lot of clients, I have them even do that in our self-love work for consistently for like up to 40 days, just each day, just going and just saying loving things. And it is powerful what happens in your internal relationship with you, because when we struggle with an impulsive indulgence, followed by that regret, it's really just the tug of war with oneself. And what you're seeing is that it's a pattern behavior and a trauma response within the body that keeps you in that fight or flight, which is always keeping you at some level of pain and disassociation. And so the way to all healing is really through love. That is the highest vibration and highest frequency. And when you can saturate yourself with that being and calling that love in for you, Kathleen, that will be the most healing thing. And I'm not sure what your spiritual affiliation is, but faith As somebody myself that struggled with food, I found that the height of my struggles with food was when I was at my lowest level of faith and my lowest level of connection to the divine creator. And in bringing that element back into my life and defining what God and my relationship with source and God got to be, and bringing that faith back in, that was the healing. So the other thing that I'm going to tell you and anybody else that relates to this, whether it's with food, with money, with any aspect of self, where we disassociate and lose yourself or give your power away to somebody else or to something else, the call to arms is to love you more and to invite love in and to invite source in. And there's a prayer that I channeled a long time ago when I was at a low point in my relationship with myself. I think it was like, oh my God, like 20 some years ago. And I remember just being on the floor of my apartment in New York City. And I just heard the prayer and I wrote it down. And it has been one that I've imparted with all my clients. And it's one of their favorites and in our communities. And it's, God, may I love you as you love me. May I love me as you love me. May I see me as you see me. May I see through the eyes of you. May I hear through your ears. May I speak only loving words to others. And may I only feel loving emotions for myself and give love to all those who come across me. I am you, you are me, we are one. I love you. And bringing that in, it's like a waterfall of beautiful love that comes over you, because where love exists, there can never be a denial of anything. And where love exists, we will never reject ourselves. So that is something that I want to tell you that will be very, very beautiful. Oh, she said, yes, food. Yes. So invite in love, recognize in that moment of disassociation what's really happening. And if you can, if it's not too painful, go back to that time and understand that it's not you. And this is another very important point that I want to say to everyone and anyone here. When you want to become the woman that you're meant to be, when you're sitting there and you're going, I know that I'm meant for more, it all starts with you. What did I say at the very beginning of this? I said your relationship to you is the most important relationship that you'll have. So we always want to start with your relationship to you, to food, to your body, to the way that you treat yourself, to the way that you love yourself. And that is going to be your divine connection and portal to all creation, and to you stepping into your greatness. But we want to remove all barriers to the highest levels of you. And if food is one of those for you, as it was for me, and your worthiness is attached to your weight, that is a tricky place to be. We never want our worth attached to anything outside of us. When you recognize, and when I learned that I was whole and complete as me, that my weight did not define me, that I was so much more than this body, I think it was one of the most liberating moments of my entire life. And I've never forgotten it. And that's when I was told you need to teach wholeness. And that's when I changed my business. And it's called wholeness, right? And everything. And we teach limitless living and being a whole woman, whole, worthy, wealthy, having it all in your sovereignty, wholly and completely as you, not as anybody else. And so we really want to understand that if your worth, like my worth got attached to my weight because I got praised. The thinner I was, the more fit I was, the more praise I had, and the more powerful I felt. That's dangerous, because what would happen? I was chasing a number on the scale, and I was only happy if I was a certain weight. It didn't matter if it was 5 pounds, 15 pounds. If I was up 2 pounds, it was my happiness. And it was all because of that. So we need to pull our power back. You pull your power back by becoming one with the divine and understanding that the power lies within you, knowing that you are so much more than this body. But it starts with your relationship to yourself. There's a great book. There's 2 that I would recommend. There's one, The Power of Self-Acceptance by Tara Brach. Absolutely incredible. And the other is, and then we've got, these are oldies but goodies. Janine Roth, she was pivotal when I was really healing my relationship with my body. And there was another one by Marianne Williamson that I always recommended. and I have to go back and look at it. It's in my Amazon storefront. It's been a while because we've transformed. We still offer programs. I've got my Love Your Body, Lose the Weight program and other programs of that nature, but we also have moved into Reinvention and Limitless Academy and Sacred Success and other programs supporting women in other areas as well. But if you are interested in any of those, we have them and they're on my site, and you can always email support, and I'm happy to share. And we also have a lot of free resources available. But guys, the main thing that I want you to understand is your worth comes from you. You are enough because you are. You don't need to prove it. You don't need more social media likes. You don't need to make more money. You get to be it now. And when you trust that you're it now, that's when everything changes. When you believe that there is nothing outside of you and everything lives within you, that's when everything changes. Okay. Let me read this other. Okay. All right. If you guys have any questions about that, let me know. Okay. Gotta go down my agenda here. So, truly, this is your time to become unstoppable. I have to tell you, okay? The year is not over yet, okay? And we have so much. So this is the perfect moment for you to reclaim your power. This is it. I want you to fully imagine stepping into a life where you feel incredible in your body, fully aligned with your purpose, and completely unstoppable in everything that you do. All right. That's what I really, really want you to understand. And in the rest of today and tomorrow, we're going to be talking about really, really freeing yourself from patterns, beliefs, and habits that have been holding you back. Okay. So I want to know who here where are you feeling stuck? That's what I'd love to know. Where are you feeling stuck? And what is one thing that you would love to have happen in this next month? Like one thing that you would just be like, oh my God, that blew me away. Like, is it losing like 10 pounds? Is it meeting the love of your life? Is it making a certain amount of money? Is it starting your business? Is it just being clear? Is it getting that new home? What is that thing for you? Is it decluttering? What would be that thing that would just bring it all home for you? I want to hear that. So while you guys are putting that in the chat, a few things that I want to touch on again. What have we learned so far today? You are not your thoughts. You're just a thinker of your thoughts. Your mind is an artifact of the past. It can only compute in the past and compare you and give you anxiety about the future, but it's only going to keep you exactly where you are. What else did we learn about the mind? That it's a computer program, and it's giving you it's taking everything you say as a direct command. Okay. What else did we learn? That your words are your power. They're creating for you or against you. What else do we learn? That you are the creator of your reality, and you are writing truly what happens next. You are sitting there and writing that out. That's what my coach always said. She's like, you're writing what's next. And I'm like, yes, I'm writing it. Right. And it's such a powerful reminder. And that's why I wanted to make sure to say that to you. What else did we learn? That we want to be connected to that of love and of our feminine energy, and that the feminine is not weak. It's actually where all creation happens. The feminine energy is the 4D. Neville Goddard talks about the imagined mind as the godlike mind. Neville Goddard is one of the very first thought leaders. He has incredible books. He is my favorite. I've been studying him for, God, now over a decade. It was just crazy. I couldn't believe it took me that long to even find him. So if you are unaware of Neville Goddard, please go and check out his books. I mean, they're endless. But he really speaks to two themes that I love. And one of them, one of his best books is Power of Awareness. I have all of them. But he talks about the godlike mind as the imagined mind. And what he's really saying is that anything that you can imagine is meant to happen. Anything that you can imagine has already occurred. And that's how you get to see it. So the only limitations that exist are the ones that we create. And the only limitations that we create are the ones that we allow. There are no excuses for anything that we can't have. It's just the ones that we keep repeating. please know that anything that you're recreating, so I always say, and my clients know this, you're either evolving or it's a revolving door. What in your life right now is revolving versus evolving? And that's going to show you what hasn't changed. And anything that's revolving means that you're still in the identity that's directly linked and attached to that circumstance continuing to happen for you. Anything that's evolved, you want to cement in through the application and daily living of that, right? It's through the action, the daily action, and then stacking the evidence and the benefits and training your mind that that's who you are. You are training your mind to believe the new belief. You are training the mind to be the new identity. And then you are telling and feeding the mind why this is of a benefit to you. Why is it a benefit for you to get up each morning and work out or meditate or both? Why is it a benefit for you to go to bed at a certain time? Why is it a benefit for you to choose healthier options? Why is it a benefit for you? Hello? Can you guys see me and hear me? That was crazy. I don't even know where I left off. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Okay. What was the last thing you guys heard? I would just talk for like 10 minutes, I feel like. Maybe not. Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to pick up. So, what I want you guys to see, let's just go through a recap here, okay, of what we were talking about. So far, what have we learned today? We learned that your mind was just an artifact of the past. We learned that you get to program the mind like a computer. We learned that what you say creates for you or against you. We learned that how do we know what's good versus bad? So this is very, very important and something I want to make sure that we talk about, especially when it comes to food and our bodies, and especially when it comes to weight loss. So, okay. So, all right, Veronica, you were making me laugh, honey, because I need you to stop with the 10 pounds. Because I'm like, we did talk about this because that's contrast. So you've got to choose what you want here. So you have to decide whether or not. So guys, when we want to manifest something, when you're wanting to manifest weight loss and a child, they're conflicting. They're two different things that you're giving, two different commands you're giving the body. You want to get clear on what is it you really want and only ask for that, or else you're going to get conflicting results and you're going to keep yo-yoing. So when that question comes up for me, what I'm seeing then is that you still haven't decided and locked in what gets to be possible for you. So you're still operating from who you've been and not operating from it's done. Right? So when something's done, we're not in question of it anymore. We're in full faith and belief that it's happening. So we're completely open and receptive to that reality, right? So we're completely open. So if we're still in question and still saying that it's a struggle about this and that, and we've been repeating it for weeks or months or years, then you haven't locked in that that's actually something that's possible for you. So what that's telling me is, where is your belief? Where is the belief? And if you haven't locked in the belief, then you need to do the beliefs work on why don't you believe it's possible, and why aren't you just allowing it to be easy? Ladies, I want you to ask yourselves, why don't I want it to be easy? What part in me thinks that it has to be hard? What part of me thinks that I need to work a lot? What part in me says that what I want can't be possible, right? What part in me? Ask yourself, you guys have to go in. If you're seeing things come up on repeat over and over and over again, then you're not actually going in and doing the work to change it. You're not asking yourself, what do I believe to be true? Because the idea of like the magic fix, and I know it's so exciting to go, well, I want a quantum leap. A quantum leap is, I'm going to operate from my end state of I'm the version of me that has the baby and the money is there. What beliefs did she hold? What guidance does that version have for me? That's a quantum leap. That's collapsing time. That is what manifestation, that's where it comes from. But when you're coming from the how, you're in the mechanics, which means you're in your mind, which means you're caught in your 3D reality, and you're not actually in the space of anything is possible for me. I'm the creator of my reality. I am the God of my life. Here's what happens next. I got pregnant really fast. It was amazing. My baby is like, we added another to our family. Everybody is happy and healthy. This is incredible. And the money came, and it's been so exciting. It's so cool. We just opened this animal shelter. Everything has happened for me. I'm in the end state. When we're caught in the how, It means that we're not associated. So what do we do? How do we close the gap? Because she's not alone in this. And this is why I love questions. And this is why I love comments. So Veronica, this is so beautiful. Thank you so much for this. What I want to tell you guys, and this is so amazing, is if your mountaintop is here and you feel like you're here, and the baby or the goals or whatever feels like it's the top of the mountain, then your mind can't conceive of up here. It's too big. So what's the one next step? What is that one next thing that you could believe? What is the one next thing? Maybe you start by just a few $100s comes to you. Or maybe it's a larger amount, depending on where you are in your manifestation. Maybe we start with one and you start saturating yourself. And so how do we saturate ourselves? We affirm, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I'm about to have a baby. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I can't believe this. Oh my God, we found the animal shelter. Oh my God. And you start seeing and bringing into the vision that you and your husband and your kids, and you're walking in with your baby and you've got a stroller and she's in the Bjorn or what have you, and you're going in and this is the dog shelter and you just opened it and oh my God, and you found it and you're seeing. But if that feels too big, then what is one next step? Put in the chat. What is that one next lever for you? And so guys, if the mountain is too big, too high from where you are, sometimes the mind will just stop you and paralyze you in fear. So take the foot off the gas, pull it back. What's one next thing? What's just one next thing? What's one next step towards that? Is it getting an ovulation kit? Is it you just starting to like look at what it would be like and imagine a year from now you've got a baby? Is it starting to look at where you could do this animal shelter and just kind of getting ideas and starting to put together a plan around money and how much it would cost? You've got to look at what's that next thing that your mind can wrap itself around. Okay. Now here's something that's really, really important. When we're looking at the mind, okay, you're programming the mind. The mind is going to look for evidence to support what you want to have happen for you. Okay. Awesome. Great. Now, what did I start off saying when we came on today? I said, I need you to challenge every belief that you have and ask yourself, is this belief serving me? Is this belief serving me? Is this belief serving me? Is this a belief that I want to be true about me? If not, what belief would I want to be true? It's very empowering to sit there and go, wait a minute, and here's the thing. Our beliefs about ourselves, our identities, they're not these glaringly obvious things. They're these whispers that go, don't do that. You're always late. You're this. You're not good with money. You're blah, blah, blah. I mean, I was just sharing the other day, I went to dinner with girlfriends and one of my friends goes, oh, well, I'm not good with money. Somebody else do the tip. It's just like too much for me. I'm so bad with numbers. I'm like, why would you say that? I'm like, that is not true. I'm like, you own an epic business. I'm like, and she's like, well, no, I mean, I just, and I'm like, no, why you own, like, I mean, I wasn't like getting on her, but I was just kind of like, I was just very aware of the identities that we all hold. If you don't want it to be true about you, like my other friend, we were out on like a double date and she's like, well, you know me, I'm such like a ditzy blonde. I'm like, you're not a ditzy blonde, you're a doctor. And I like looked at like my boyfriend, I'm like, she's not ditzy. I'm like, what's she doing? I'm like, she's so smart. I'm like, I don't know why it's like she's putting on this like role of like, and I don't know, like it was a thing where she was kind of like lowering who she was by who she was with and playing this like, and I was like, this is so fascinating. I'm watching this like play out. Pay attention to, now granted, none of this is harmful if you don't like, but I was just kind of like, this is so interesting. She's owning an identity that's like the polar opposite of actually who she is. And I was like, well, I don't know why, maybe, I don't know, whatever's there for her, right? I mean, I could say a lot and psychologically what's going on there, but it's not me to like, but I was just kind of like, she's so powerful. Like, why is she doing that? But here's the thing, we all do things like that. So pay attention. We do it within our families, right? It's like that Rumi quote, you think you're enlightened until you spend a week with your family and you're like, okay, there were like 8 years I spent in India. And you're like, okay, I didn't spend 8 years in India. I'm being dramatic and making a point here, it's very true though. For everybody that's done a lot of like internal and spiritual work, it's fascinating that you are with your family for a few days and you're like, oh, okay, wow, interesting, right? So I say this because I really want you to understand the power that you hold is all in your hand. What you're not changing, you're choosing. You hold the key. You are not a victim to anything. This is your life. You get to create it and be exactly who you want to be. Neville Goddard, going back to the imagined mind, or the imagined mind is the godlike mind, which means we're operating from the fourth dimension, which is the imagination. Then everything that you see in your mind will become your truth. It's destined for you. It's already happened for you. It will attract to you. So here's what's amazing. What you see in your mind, and the more that you allow your mind to visualize that which you desire, it will come to you. It will manifest in your 3D reality. And the more you bring it to life in your mind, the more often you do, the quicker it will come to you. Now, why wouldn't you want to believe that to be true? Even if you're sitting here and you're like, I came across this girl. She's on social media right now. She's saying some things. They sound nice in theory. I don't really know if they're true. Why wouldn't you want to believe that? One, but two, law of manifestation, law of attraction, law of assumption is that it is truth. Walt Disney, there was no Disneyland. He looked down and saw land, but in his mind, he saw Disneyland. And then he created it, right? The light bulb, Thomas Edison, did not exist before that. Everything first starts in the imagination. What you want to create, saturate your mind, as Neville Goddard says, saturate it with the belief. You want to be the mom, you want to have the money, you want to have the millions, you want to start this, you want to start that. See it, bring it to life. As adults, we stop imagining, we stop visioning, we stop allowing ourselves to be in this play. But you know how many incredible celebrities and powerful people in the world sat and they allowed their mind, and you'll go back and you'll talk to them and you'll say, what did you do? What did you want to be? And they go, oh, I told people, I told stories. I told people that I was this, or that I was this famous actor. And they went and they made it happen. They believed until it became their truth. What happens that stops us from achieving our dreams? It's us. We allow ourselves to buy into our stories of limitation, and we start operating from our 3D reality, and we let our 3D reality, i.e. what you see, dictate what's possible for you. We start looking at a bank account and going, there's no way that that could be millions, but it can, and it can happen very quickly. In fact, it can happen on the chain, like literally in a moment's notice. There's, I'll never forget, I went with my friend Joe Polish, and there's this amazing man that runs men's events. His name is Neil Strauss. And it was beautiful because he actually started doing men's work and men's events at a time when like I said, I've been in this industry for almost 20 years. And this was at a time when, unfortunately, men, there was very much be the alpha male, don't express your emotions, and there were more women's groups than there were men's groups. Well, he started these beautiful men's groups, and Joe invited me to go, and I was living in California, and it was me and Brie Artzinger. We were like the two females in the audience. Brie is the Betty Rocker on Instagram. She's incredible, just a beautiful being, and doing wonderful things with women in fitness and everything in their bodies. And we're sitting there, and one of the speakers was, of course, I'm going to blank on his name. So you can look him up. But anyway, he was poor artist, and him and his girlfriend, literally, basically, we could say homeless, but like they were vagabonds, and they would, create art and paintings and other things around the world. And he came to speak. This is what I mean about manifesting on a dime. He called about he had an account. He actually forgot that he even had this stock in, where do you think? In Google. He was one of the first people that worked in Google, where they gave stock, and I have to look up his name. And he, this is how crazy this is. He called and was like, I'm just interested to know how many, he was he had something like a few $100 million, completely unaware, basically living on the streets with his girlfriend. Overnight, he was getting calls from the wealthiest people in the world, being invited on yachts. And he came to speak at Neil's event, and he was saying, he's in an instant, he had it. And he was talking about the powers of manifestation. He's like, I was never about money, but I lived from wealth within. right? And I just say this to you because when we talk about instant manifestations and things happening, they happen all the time. We hear these stories, and they're not stories that are just meant for other people. They're meant for you too, as long as you believe it, and as long as you own it, and as long as you decide and drop into the identity. Why I teach reinvention is because out of everything that I've ever done in self-development, all of the reprogramming of the mind, becoming a master hypnotherapist, being a life coach, doing somatic work, going on healing journeys, doing ayahuasca, being in Bali, every retreat, running doing all the things, I can tell you that the most powerful thing that I did to transform myself was really, really assuming the identity of the version of myself that I wanted to be, and understanding that I could reinvent who I was at any moment and any time, and that I had the power to look within my own life and within my own mind and say, that's actually not me. I created an identity based off of default, not by my own design. I was responding to life. I was responding and being who I thought I needed to be. And for all my empaths who have the ability to be a chameleon, as you transform yourself into who you believe everybody needs to be the peacemaker, to be the one that makes sure that everybody else is happy, to be the one, especially all my moms and all the women here, that put everybody else's needs above your own and can feel the emotions of everybody else. And I'm going to make sure you're okay, and you're okay, and you're okay. And oh, this is, if I'm perfect, then I'll get your happiness. And if I'm this way, then I'll get your love. And if I'm this way, then I'm going to make you happy. Now is your time to reinvent yourself, to become the woman that you want to be. And it has to start with you and your relationship to yourself and to your body. And it starts with the foods that you eat, the choices that you make, and the thoughts that you think, and the words that you say. So we want to start to look at, what are the healthy habits that I have that align me to the most divine, powerful, beautiful, epic being that I am? What are the beliefs that I want to hold to be true about me when it comes to money, about my purpose, about the mother that I get to be, the wife that I get to be, the woman that I get to be in the world? Why would I ever want to buy into a limiting story that says that I'm too old, that I don't have the body, that I'm not smart enough, that I need to be this, that I need to live here, that I don't have this available to me? Because it's all bullshit. You have everything available to you. Everything. But it has to all start with you, and you have to believe that it's possible. And it starts with you locking in to the identity of the version of you that you want to be. But that starts with being clear. And what I find so often is that many will come to me and say, Melissa, I want this, and I want that, and I want this, and I want that. And I go, okay, well, what's your identity? And they'll go, well, I don't know what you mean. And I go, well, who are you? And they'll say, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You want to get clear on who you believe yourself to be, the good, the bad, all the things. And then I want you to actually ask yourself, who do I want to be? What do I know to be true about me that I don't even let people see? What do I believe about myself that I will sit here and pray and say, why don't they see how great I am? Wait, instead of waiting for somebody else to acknowledge your beauty, your intellect, your abilities, your talents, your innate gifts, I want you to see them in yourself. And I want you to craft the identity, and I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to give her a voice and a name, and how does she dress, and how does she act, and how does she eat? It starts with you, and it starts with the health of your body, because the version of you that is powerful, that is limitless, that is unstoppable, that knows that she is meant for extraordinary instead of ordinary, she treats herself as an absolute queen. She dresses in a way that makes her feel beautiful inside and out. She only speaks to herself with love. She invests in herself. She loves herself. She talks to herself with kindness, with love, with adoration, but she does not make herself wrong. She does not reject herself. She looks to the good, and she sees everything in her life as happening for her in support of her greatest growth. And she invites in whatever is happening in life. And one of the things that I teach my clients, and it's so important, and I had to learn, and I want to tell you this more than anything, please stop giving your emotions power over you. And please stop giving meaning to things that aren't serving you. We don't want to get caught replaying experiences and conversations that aren't serving us. And we definitely don't want to get caught in low vibrational activities like gossiping, putting ourselves down, judging others, and most of all, judging ourselves. Because any and all of that is disassociation and it's lack from the divinity that lives within us. And what happens when we do that is we dim our light and we no longer can hear the intuitive guidance that is pulling us forward and is really meant to guide us to our destiny. So why I start with the body is really cleaning up the way that we eat and the way that we think and how we truly, truly treat ourselves. And it starts with food, guys. It starts with movement. Why would you take your pet for a walk in the morning and give your pet good food and water and not take yourself for a walk? Give yourself love. The relationship, the way we treat our children. And I would say, and I mean, I know this didn't come from me, but would you ever say the things that you say to yourself to your own child, to your mother, to your best friend? Then why would you say it to yourself? And how could we ever expect you to thrive when we talk that way to ourselves? It's like those, I always use Dr. Emoto. He was out of the UK, and it was the experiments that he did with water. And please look this up. It is so powerful, where he had 3 glasses of water, and 1 glass of water he spoke only love to, another glass of water he spoke hatred to, and another glass of water was complete indifference. The glass of water with indifference turned this like muddy greenish, and it was dehydrated over a week's time. In 7 days it went down. Okay. The glass of water that he spoke hate to actually turned black and dried up in 7 days. The glass of water that he spoke love to expanded and became more clear. It is epic. You have to look this up. Dr. Emoto. That just proves what we are comprised 73% of water. What do you think happens in our bodies? What do you think happens? Why do Olympic athletes visualize, sit and listen to, right, binaural beats and words of affirmation? Why, as a master hypnotherapist, did I learn that if you can speak a voice memo to yourself of saying, I love you, you're amazing, and you speak into existence the future reality of that which you desire, and you listen to it audibly, that it actually has the vibrational, right? It's your own voice code. Nobody has your voice, just like nobody has your thumbprint. So when you speak and you listen to it audibly in your own ear, through your own eardrum, your own vibration, right? Your own voice code is hitting you on a cellular level. Well, your cells are little receptors, and we can actually change on a cellular level. We see this, right, in metaphysics. So in epigenetics, we can actually change, right? This is why we always say, I say this, never identify with an illness ever, or I don't believe in identifying people. I believe we over-identify in terms of astrology and my human design. And then I grew up with this illness, and I have this because my mother had this, and I've always struggled with my weight because everybody in my family's overweight. No, stop it. It was actually proven with epigenetics that is not, you can actually change on a cellular level your disposition. When we over-identify with an illness, we actually create the illness. What happens with an identity, when you program your mind with an identity, it will keep recreating for you over and over again, because you're telling your mind, this is who I identify as, therefore, back this up, prove it to me, give me experiences in my outer reality that is the truth of me. So when you have a disease, when you have an illness, when you have constantly talked about your joint pain and your back pain, and you have this gastrointestinal issue, and now you're in menopause and all these things are happening, and then your period, and this is blah, blah, it's going to keep creating for you again and again and again and again and again. Why? Because you're programming the mind. And what happens when we program the mind? It gives a direct command to the body.
And what happens to the direct command of the body? That is what you experience. What is disease? It is dis-ease in the body. Why are there so many metaphysical connections to dis-ease? And when you look at them and somebody has an illness in the body, or they have something that's happened for them, and oh, my back pain and this, and you actually look at, Louise Hay was brilliant, and you can heal your body, heal your life. And she's got that index of what does this mean? Oh, joint pain means this, elbow, tennis elbow means this, back pain means this. And everybody's going, that's crazy, because that's what's going on for me in my life. Surprise? No, not at all. We are energy. Everything is energy. What you state on repeat will create for you or against you. So why is it when we want to manifest or create a new identity, wouldn't it work in your favor for you to repeat over and over again that which you desire to be your reality? If you think about any identity that you have, wife, mother, entrepreneur, good with money, not good with money, you have stories on repeat, thoughts on repeat each day that support that. So wouldn't you think that actually speaking into existence that which you desire to have to be your reality over and over again could only work for you? And if these studies are done where it shows that speaking self-hate to something works negatively in the body, wouldn't we say then that it would really work for us to manifest and become the version of us that we want to be, that we then would really want to start working on our mental diet, as Neville Goddard talks about it, starving the mind of that which we no longer want, and overstimulating the mind with that which we desire to then create the new reality? This is what we do in reinvention. We reinvent ourselves. What did I do when I created the fit identity? I became her. It wasn't an overnight thing. It was steady. I stacked the evidence and I kept choosing it and I kept choosing it. And if I missed a workout, I didn't go, I'm not good, I'm not her anymore. Kept choosing it and I kept choosing it and I kept choosing it. And then people started to see me as her because I saw me as her. And then people started to say, what are you doing to work out? And can you give me advice? And what are you doing? And how do you eat like that? And what are you doing? And I think you should do a fitness competition. I said, what's that? I don't even know what you're talking about. And then they showed me a cover of a magazine of this woman that's a fit model. And I'm going, you think I could do that? Oh, seat of the mind. And then I said, okay. And then I won. And I said, all right, that's cool. Right. And then I became a nutritionist. It's, why? How did that happen? In my life, did I ever want to? No. I didn't even grow up thinking that I wasn't even into health and wellness, anything of that nature. I was not an athlete. In fact, I was always overweight. I was the pudgier one, the thunder fatted, the bubble butt. How'd that happen? I chose it. I stacked it. I created it. And I affirmed it over and over again. And then the outside world started to reflect it back to me. Why? Because everything's a mirror. Law of assumption. Everything is a mirror. There is no one to change but self. Rumi, right? Rumi, yes. So your partner is reflecting back to you who you believe you are. Your kids reflecting back to you. Clients reflecting back to you, right? So when we want our outer reality to change, it's not about our outer reality. Why did I have one of my clients say to me, oh my God, Melissa, it's crazy. And now this is happening. It's just who I be. And then, oh my God, you should see my husband's doing this now. And my kids are doing this now. And then this happened at work. It's so weird. I go, it's not weird at all. You changed. They didn't change. You changed. So your experience of them changed. That's how it works. It's not about, I need that person to change for me to be happy. I need to lose weight for me to be happy. No, you assume it. And then, right, you assume it, it's yours. And then it comes to you. You feel wealthy, then the wealth comes. But if you feel lack cannot, then you only experience lack everywhere. So when we're looking at becoming healthy, when we're looking at becoming our best selves, when we're looking at being the version of ourselves, we need to eradicate every limiting belief that says that we can't. And we start to go and really ask, the version of me that has the body and optimal health and stands on stage and wants to be seen and wants to be visible and wants to show up naked and wants to be intimate with my partner and is proud of her body and can't wait to go on the family vacation and wear the thing and be the thing. And I can't wait to go shopping. I feel so good in my body. I want to show up. I no longer want to hide any aspect of myself. I want to be seen. I want to take up space. She eats differently. She's not looking to numb out. She's not wanting to be lethargic on the sofa. She's doing habits that serve her. She's drinking water. She's moving her body each day. She's positive. She's healthy. She's spreading love. She's not getting triggered by people. She's going, oh my God, how can we support each other? How can I get there? I'm so excited to become this version of me. And then she's choosing foods that serve her. This is why I teach clean eating. I don't believe in diets. I don't believe in deprivation. I'm going for the long game. I'm not looking at how can I just lose weight for the next blah, blah, blah time frame. No, when you actually start to go, I'm choosing to be the healthiest version of me, then you're going, it's for life. So it doesn't matter if I injured myself. It doesn't matter if I got sick. It doesn't matter if I went up on the scale a little bit. It doesn't matter, because I know who I'm becoming and I know what I'm choosing and I know what's meant for me. And I'm going to keep choosing that. So why do I eat clean? What is clean eating? It's eating foods closest to their natural state. My body knows what they are. They're not laden with chemicals. They're not overly processed. They're whole. My body knows a tomato's a tomato. Sweet potatoes, a sweet potato, salmon is here, right? I know what I'm putting into my body, and therefore it's nutrient dense, it's calorie deficient, right? My body can process it. It's not impacting my hormones. I eat all of the out of nowhere autoimmune diseases and obesity on the rise and all these things. My body, I'm maintaining my weight. I don't have a thyroid, right? I had my thyroid removed I had thyroid cancer years ago. Whatever, I don't even want to go there. But my point with that is I've maintained my weight. I can wear the same thing that I could wear, same size clothes for the past 15 years. Why? Right? I was told, oh, you know, now that you don't have a thyroid and you're going to do this and it's going to be so hard for you. No. I'm not taking anything in that I don't want to be true for me. I don't care what the statistics say. I don't care about any of that. I'm definitely not going to feed my mind with things that put me in a negative state or tell me that there are limitations that I am going to have to live into. So I only allow into my consciousness that which I desire to see and experience. And anything that I don't want, I eradicate from my mind, and I saturate my mind with more of that which I desire. And then I back it up with actions that support the version of me that I desire to be and the end state of what I want. What is my end state? My end state is I'm like a happy, healthy great grandma that's running around. I don't view aging as me. I don't see this version of me. I'm not planning for me getting like decrepit and like, no, I see that I just keep getting better with age, that I'm aging backwards, that I get stronger, that I get more fit, that I have more energy, that life gets easier, that my body gets healthier, that I actually have more figured out than ever before. And I can catapult myself to massive levels of happiness, success, and wealth with complete ease. Why? Because I now know all the things that I didn't before, and because it's now by my design, not by default. I don't need to go the hard way around. I have the lessons. I got them. And now when life throws me a curveball, right? So this summer, I was giving this, here's a prime example. This summer, my mother had a stroke. We thought we were going to lose her. It was like one bomb after another. I was like living in, I did not have a summer. So I sat there and I said, great, okay. I didn't say great. It was heartbreaking. But what I did, and I want to share with you guys, because it's not like I just sit here on some like cloud and like things don't happen. They happen, but it's how I handle them. So I said, okay, wow, there's a lot that's happening here. God must have something huge for me on the other side of this. 1, 2, great. Who do I get to become? Good. It's like I'm on a firing squad. It's like one thing after another. Okay. How can I show up whatever is happening here? It's for my greatest good. I get to become even stronger, more powerful, more loving, more empathic, more just peaceful, happy, joyous being. Because whatever is happening here that's breaking me is bringing me to my deepest sovereignty. It's bringing me to the most elevated, ascended version of myself. And instead of it happening with one small thing, I'm getting a wham. This is like hitting me hard. This is bringing me to my knees. And I've had several things like that happen in my life. Why? I believe they've happened so that I can help others to ascend through it more quickly, more easily, and guide them to their next evolution without needing to go like this. And that is truly, because here's the thing, we're all one. So whatever I'm experiencing, and as I'm going higher, we all get to go there together. So why wouldn't I want to help you get there with more ease, more joy, more flow? Why wouldn't I want to share with you things that I wish I knew? Which is why I'm really here. This Born for This event is bringing you back to, what did you know that you were born for? What got you so lit up and excited when you were younger? And what are the things that stand in the way? One of the reasons why I wanted to start with food and the body is because this is what I see with women so often. They tell me that they have these big dreams, that there are things that they want, but they're lacking the confidence and the belief in themselves, and they tie it to their weight. And they let their weight be the thing that holds them back. And they say, well, once I lose the weight, and once I do this, and they come in with a lot of, well, once this, then I'll do this. And well, first I need to take the money and give to my kids. And then I'll do it. And here's the thing, guys, we're creating. So why do we keep putting ourselves off? We only put ourselves off when we don't believe that which we desire can happen. And when we don't believe we're worthy. And I have seen such a direct correlation between women with their weight and worthiness, and a direct tie that limits them completely into a version of themselves and into a life where they're not fully fulfilled, where they want more. And the one thing that gets me, that always kills me, and they go, it's this, I don't know if I don't want to say it's religion or Catholicism, or like, I know I had it, but it's like, who am I to ask for more? I've already been so blessed. Who am I to ask for more? And who are you not to? God says it's not that we ask for too much, it's that we ask for too little. I can create worlds. Let me create for you, through you. That every dream that was given to you, every desire on your heart was meant for you. And it is a gift from source energy, from the universe, for you to not only create it, but to have it, because it's your destiny. So what if we all went for our destiny unabandoned and unapologetically? What if we went in with so fiercely and just said that I am committed that in the next 6 months, my life, my world, my body, my health, my wealth is going to look dramatically different. That this is what I get to have, that this is what I get to receive, that I get this because this is my opportunity to live my best life, and I am just getting started. Because that's how I feel. I'm like, oh my God. And I know people say to me, but Melissa, you've lived this life already that could like fill so many books, and you've done this. And I'm like, yeah, but now I'm awakened to a whole other ascended level. And from here, it's like, oh my God, the world is my oyster. Like, what are we going to create? Let's all go there together. But gone are the days of limitations, and gone are the days of believing that we don't have what it takes, and gone are the days of tell me the steps because I don't know the how, and gone are the days that we give our power to something else. We no longer give our power away to a number on the scale, to a number in the bank account, to a number on social media, to believing that we can't have the life unless we get it through who we're with, or what we have, or by what we own, or by our status in our career. You get to have it all. You get to have it now. And it gets to start today. It does. So here's what I need you to know, guys. Born for This tomorrow. This is just day one. Tomorrow we're going through, and we're going to end with a visualization. So stay with me here. Tomorrow we're going to have another energy activation, and we're going to go into fully reprogramming the mind and shifting your identity. You have 2 worksheets that were given to you tonight that I really, really want to make sure that you do. I'm worried to like even click off this page. Let's see what happens. I'm worried it's going to disconnect. I wonder if that's what happened last time. Okay, maybe it didn't. So the first worksheet that you have is releasing your limiting beliefs. Okay. So in this worksheet, you're going to identify what your limiting beliefs are. I only want you to focus on 3. I want you to look at, how do these beliefs hold you back? What is the impact of these limiting beliefs on your life? I want to make sure you guys are still recording. Okay. Then you're going to reframe the limiting beliefs. And I give you an example of exactly how to do this in the worksheet. If you did not get the worksheets and you were not, then you didn't fully sign up for the event. So I want just put in, I'm going to see if Mary, if you can put the link in here for the event. But once you sign up for the event, you'll get a direct download because there are these worksheets that are highly going to support you. Then you're going to go into the next step, which is what is your new empowering belief? And the reflection question. I love the reflection question. And it's how will shifting these beliefs change the way you approach your life? This is really powerful. Okay, guys, so powerful. And the other worksheet is stepping into the woman that you're meant to be. And this is going to help you in tomorrow and the work that we're doing. So these worksheets are not only going to tie up tonight, but it's going to bring you into tomorrow. And it's your current self versus your future self. You're just going to love this. It's so good. And your reflection question is, why is reinventing myself the key to your transformation? So in that handout, you describe your current self, you describe your future self, what habits and traits define her, who is the woman that you want to be, describe her, and then we close the gap and we create your action step and your new identity affirmation, and then we have your reflection question. I took a lot of time with these worksheets. They're really transformative. I really went through what are the things, oh, thank you, Mary. What are the exact things that will really, really support you in becoming the version of yourself that you want to be? So if you want those worksheets, we have those 2 tonight. And then the other 2 for tomorrow. Go to that link and make sure to click that link and you'll get not only the replays, but you'll also get the worksheets. So what I want to do right now is we're going to close out with a meditation. So I want everybody to just close your eyes. Visualization. And I'm not going to turn a little. After this, I have to go and get an x-ray for my foot. No. Okay. So I just want you to close your eyes. I want you to uncross your legs, your arms. We just want to be a clear, open channel for energy to come to and through. Take off a hat on top of your head or anything of that nature. Just closing your eyes and taking a deep inhale in and exhale out. And another deep inhale in and just exhale out. And on this last breath, take a deep, deep inhale in through the nose, and we're going to suspend the breath. And you're just going to suspend for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And exhale out slowly through the mouth for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, beautiful. Okay. And right now, keeping your eyes closed, I just want you to see yourself in this body. It's you here today, right now. And with your eyes closed, breathing in and breathing out, feeling your body, feeling the emotions that you have, noticing the thoughts that you're thinking. And we're just letting them go, letting them go, letting them go. Relaxing and releasing right here, right now. And I want you to see that there's an elevator. It's got golden doors and this beautiful clear tube. And you see that the golden doors come and open right here. And you are coming up out of your body leaving this version of you behind, sitting where you are right now on this live stream, and you walk toward I apologize, guys. We are using new software, so I'm not sure what's happening. And please stay with me, eyes closed, going into those golden doors. And once you get in the elevator, you press the button for the penthouse and you go all the way up. And you're going up this clear tube and you just see all this white mist and you're going up, 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 up above the clouds. And the elevator stops. And when you step out, the doors open and there's this beautiful golden mist. And you pause for a minute. And you take a first step and you look down at your feet and you take a step. And you're wearing completely different shoes and a completely different outfit. And you're stepping into the version of you who has all of your desires. She's the woman who you've always known yourself to be. She's the woman that you dream of being. She's the woman that lives inside of you. And you step into your extraordinary life. And you walk through that veil of golden mist. And you are there. And you look around. And you just take notice of everything that you see. This is your life. Where are you? Who's there with you? What do you see? And you're looking around and you're looking around, and all of a sudden, you hear your voice in the other room. And you walk around the corner and you see yourself. And you just take her in. And you're so proud. And you're so happy. And what are you seeing? What is she doing? Who's she with? And you just take this in and you see how she feels and you see what you're seeing. And more than ever, you know that this is what's meant for you. You feel it in every ounce of your being. It's as real as if it's your life right now today. And she comes over and she whispers in your ear and she tells you exactly what you need to hear, to believe, to trust, to know. And to believe. She gives you the exact advice and guidance and next steps that you need. And you give her a hug. And you turn around and there are those elevator doors. And you step back in because you now hold the key. And everything she said has now, in your being, you hold it, you believe it, you feel it. It's you on a cellular level in every ounce of your being. And you go back into the elevator as this version of you who is forever different because you now know. And you take that feeling with you and you can now connect to that vision, to that feeling, to that scene over and over and over again, knowing the more you do, the faster it will come to you. Take a deep breath in. So good, so good. And exhale out. Beautiful, guys. I want to thank you so much for your time here today. I am deeply, deeply honored and absolutely loved it. And I cannot wait to be with you tomorrow. If you enjoyed this, and if you have friends or anybody that you know that can benefit, we are just getting started. We have tomorrow, another 2 days, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Meet me here. I can't wait to be with you then. There is the link. Do the homework tonight, and we will go through that tomorrow. And I love you guys so much. Any questions that you have, email support@melissacatherine.com, and know that I am here in full support. So is my team. We're so grateful, so honored, and absolutely blessed to be with you. Can't wait to be with you tomorrow, and have a beautiful and blessed night. And I will see you all then. All my love, guys. Bye.